let's talk about another topic that I hear from integrators quite frequently, and that's a 1G versus a 10G AV over IP system. What are some of the differences, pros and cons?
Okay, well, they both have their own place. When it comes to commercial environment, let me just back up a second. You have to look at the application first. What is the application calling for? If it's just a standard bar and restaurant that you're going to be distributing 1080p content, 1G is perfect. But when you want that uncompressed information or slightly less compressed information, accurate information with Dolby Vision and so on, 10 gig is more preferred because 10 gig is not going to compress that information. And when it does, it's only going to compress from 4K 30 to 4K 60. So if you're after the quality, 10 gig is going to be much more desired than the 1 gig. They both have their own place, but when you're talking about the high-end video distribution or residential application, 10 gig is more desired. And I would pick 10 gig over 1 gig any day.
To expand on what Ed was talking about, the 10G network infrastructure, you'd use that on a high-end home theater system, for instance, or maybe large venues like stadiums and bars and restaurants, 1080p. So it's 1G.
You also want to use your 10 gig solution in situations where you know that the client, the end user, is going to want to continue to expand. So you don't want to limit your end user to a specific system. You want to have that bandwidth available. And in those cases, you definitely want to also use the 10G.
And I also want to add about the compression. Your traditional 1 gig pipeline or any sort of video distribution that's taking place over 1 gig pipeline, in most cases, they're going to be compressing, 99% of the time, they're going to be compressing 60 to 1, whereas 10 gig does not compress anything up to 4K 3444, and the only compression takes place from 4K 30 to 60, and it's 1-to-4 compression. And there are different methods of compressing information. There is color space conversion, and then there is the display stream conversion. Or compression, I'm sorry. So we utilize the display stream compression instead of color space conversion. So the picture end result is going to be much better on a 10 gig platform versus 1 gig platform.